The big story that we are tracking, news coming in from Jammu and Kashmir where the State Investigation Agency or the SIA has carried out searches at multiple locations in Srinagar in connection with the 1990 abduction and killing of Kashmiri Pandit woman Sarla Bhat. The SIA teams, assisted by police and CRPF, launched simultaneous raids at 8 sites across the city early in the morning. According to sources, locations happened to be the residence of JKLF terrorists Yasin Malik, Javed Nalka, Pir Noor ul Haq Shah, Abdul Hamid Sheikh, Bashir Ahmed Gojri, Firoz Ahmed Khan and Ghulam Mohammad Taplu. The case pertains to the killing of Sarla Bhat, who was abducted from a hostel in April 1990 by terrorists affiliated to the JKLF. Her corpse was recovered the next day with bullet wounds across her body. Sarla had defied the terrorist diktat of quitting her job and leaving Kashmir by openly challenging them. Her killing was part of a broader campaign of violence which was carried out against the minority Kashmiri Pandit population in the valley starting from 19th of January 1990.
On 19th of April 1990, she was abducted and later on she was murdered by the Pakistani terrorists. The JKLF terror outfit then claimed the death of Sarla Bhat. Her body was found with multiple bullet injuries. Whole Jammu and Kashmir, whole India was demanding justice with the family of late Sarla Bhat. After 35 years, the case of gruesome killing of Sarla Bhat is again opened. The state investigating agencies started investigation. SIA raided multiple places in Kashmir, including the residence of Yasin Malik, who was then the JKLF chief, a terror outfit. Justice delayed, but not denied. We hope, we are confident that late Shaheed Sarla Bhat, the brave daughter of Kashmir, will get justice.
We're in fact now joined in by Sushil Pandit, who is a Kashmiri activist. Sushil Pandit, this is a 35-year-old wound for the community. Do you think it is the beginning of a closure of a very horrific chapter in the history of Kashmiri Pandits?
I'm afraid it is too soon to call it some kind of a closure. We have barely begun. And I hope this is not a false start, because we've, through these 35 years, seen several times such hopes raised and then systematically belied. Sarla Bhat indeed was gang raped, tortured, and her naked corpse thrown at a thoroughfare. There were several like her, Girija Tikku, Prana Ganju. There was Tikalal Taplu. There was Premnath Bhatt. There was Neelkant Ganju. There was Lassa Kaul. How many do I name? Their cases have not progressed. They're still pending. People like Bitta Karate and Yasin Malik, who bragged that they killed them, like squadron leader Ravi Khanna, whose case is dragging in a Tada court for the last 35 years. None of these cases have been prosecuted. Nobody's been found guilty. None has been sentenced or punished till date. So with barely a beginning of an investigation, I only hope that this time the system is sincere. We moved the Supreme Court thrice for these pending cases. and no less than the chief justices of the time, Justice J.S. Kehar, Justice Deepak Mishra, Justice Dhananjay Chandrachud, they didn't even admit our applications, our petitions. Such is the apathy, insensitivity. There's absolute lead in the soul of our system. Our criminal justice system stinks. So when you talk of hope or closure, it's a far cry. One has to wait and see how the system deals with this one.
35 years waiting for some kind of an action over the series of crimes that have happened. But at the same time, Sarla Bhat, we are talking about, she was defying the system. She was defying the threats from the terrorists. She wanted to, in fact, have the normal life a lot of Kashmiris would have, be on the job, be at that hospital where she was caring for. And this is what they wanted to attack, normalcy in Jammu and Kashmir.
You know what happened then to her? She was serving as a staff nurse at Sher Kashmir Institute, which had become a snake pit of terrorists and jihadis. A doctor serving there, Dr. Guru, who was the kingpin, suspected her of having overheard his conversations because they used to treat injured militants in encounters surreptitiously. And he's the one who's supposed to have informed Yasin Malik and his cohorts. That's why they abducted her, gang raped her, tortured her. And imagine it's 35 years. We didn't even investigate this.
Right. Sushil Pandit, I'll just stay with us. We have Adityaraj Kaul, who's also joining us, Senior Executive Editor, TV9 Network. Adityaraj, this is one of those, as I'm asking Sushil Pandit also about it, Sushil Pandit also was speaking about this case. It is a 35-year, it's been 35 years, and action being taken after 35 years of a very painful memory of what happened to one of the prominent people of the Kashmiri Pandit community, and it became something that has horrified the community also. But it's been for 35 years, nobody has attended to it, other than the community fighting it in the courts for some kind of action on what has happened. How do you see this SIA raids that are happening right now?
Well, it's a major development that is taking place in Jammu and Kashmir. After 35 years, the SIA of the J&K police has reopened the case, a very brutal case of rape and murder of a nurse, Sarla Bhat, who belonged to the Kashmiri Hindu, the Kashmiri Pandit community. For the last 35 years, the Kashmiri Pandit community has been protesting in New Delhi and in Jammu and Kashmir to reopen this case. And now this morning, imagine, after 35 long years, there are 8 locations that the SIA has raided, including that of the JKLF terrorist Yasin Malik, Javed Nalka, Peer Noor ul Haq Shah, Abdul Hamid Sheikh, Bashir Ahmed Gojri, Feroz Ahmed Khan, and Ghulam Mohammad Taplu. Now imagine, it took 35 long years for the police to wake up to the reality of this FIR. This particular victim, Sarla Bhat, was in fact a nurse at the lodged at the Haba Khatun hostel of the Sher Kashmir Institute of Medical Sciences in Saura of Srinagar, and her bullet-ridden body, tortured body, was found lying in the thoroughfare at Umar colony of the Malabag of Saura the next day morning. So these are the culprits, the terrorists of the JKLF who were responsible for it. It was common memory. Everybody in Kashmir knew about it, but there was no action taken. A similar case of Justice Neelkant Ganju, who was also killed, a very prominent judge, was reopened last year. Investigations are underway in that case as well. Well, these cases being reopened, does give the community of Kashmiri Hindus a glimmer of hope, because after 35 long years, at least some individual cases have been opened. There were more than perhaps 2,000 to 3,000 Kashmiri Hindus who have been killed since 1990 in different massacres, and the community has been living in an exile in Jammu, Delhi, and rest of the world. And while the government does speak about rehabilitation and return of Kashmiri Pandits, that certainly cannot happen until justice is delivered. So there has to be much more done by the government, the police, and the local authorities to build some kind of faith in the community, to give them some assurance that justice will be delivered, and justice will only be delivered when terrorists like Yasin Malik and others are convicted and tried in the courts of law. Imagine 35 long years these cases have been pending with no intention of the local government or the authorities to act. It's only now that they are acting, and we don't know how long will it take for the cases to be completely investigated, tried, and the criminals to be convicted. One of the terrorists, Yasin Malik, has been lodged in the Tihar jail for the last 6 years in a Hawala case of 2017, not in the rape and murder case of Sarla Bhat or in the killing of the Indian Air Force men. This gives you a glimpse of how the law of the land really worked in Jammu and Kashmir over the last many, many years. So a glimmer of hope, certainly a big step by the LG Manoj Sinha's administration and the SIA of J&K police. Raids are continuing at 8 locations, and we'll have to wait and watch how things unfold. But certainly a massive, massive development, giving a very strong message.